so yeah, man. So yesterday, we do this thing called the midshipman training or whatever. They come out, and I'm sure it's when they go on ships and they do different type of training and all this stuff, right? So so at the end of my training, we was doing like some, firefighting, hose handling, and all that for 'em, man. Midshipmen, sophomores in college or whatever, man. They are pumped. They
Yeah.
are pumped. They coming over there running. They like, man, you put them in that fire hose, man. They was ready to go, right? So after everything was done, we did the training with them. They loved it, and everything was good to go. And then, so we had like 5 minutes left, and I was like, hey, so you guys got anything, you want to ask, Navy stuff or whatever. I said, it was all, but every time I ask this question, the crazy part about it is I'm the only one answering. Like everybody, all the rest of the chiefs and everybody around me, they ain't saying shit, but it's always me answering the question or whatever they got. So they asked me about families. Like, how do your family deal with you, like being in the military and all this time, blah, blah, blah. And you know me, man, I went a little bit deeper than I should have on the conversation. So I pretty much was like this at first. I said, so I think you have to prepare your family for this. I said, when you on sea duty, it's hard for your families. You go on deployments. You can go on deployment for 9 months. If your family ain't prepared for that or got that lifestyle or whatever the case may be, it can be very, very hard. So my first answer to that right now at 23 years would be prepare your family.
Yeah.
And that's easily said than done, right? So then I gave her my example of 19-year-old Damon, right? 19-year-old Damon got married, right out of high school, right out of boot camp and all that type of stuff. And I was pretty much separated at 19. You know what I mean? Got to my first ship, went on deployment, wasn't prepared for that. You know what I mean? So I did not have time to prepare. I didn't know anything about the military. I didn't know how it worked, so I couldn't even prepare that side of it. So guess what? Sent them back home, sent them here, and then end up, we're not together anymore. So that's how hard it can be. That's the difference in 19-year-old Damon and now being in the Navy 23 years, Damon, and it's a whole different. I can talk more about it and you preparing your family for it now than I could when I was that young in the Navy. And it is what it is, but and we was going and them kids made face lit up, and I said, oh wait, I'm not trying to scare you guys. I had to say that, man. So I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I think if you have a plan and you prepared when you get married, and everything will be good to go, man. I just wasn't prepared when I was younger. Coming in.
I mean, to be like completely transparent, like it's been times that, you ever had like a time that you feel like, man, like I need to pay back my family. Like for instance, so like when I'm gone, and my wife could say a million times, like, I understand that you're in the Navy and when you gone, and when you working and stuff like that. But I just be feeling like I owe her to a point that sometimes I'll be like self-conscious about certain stuff, like self-conscious about like walking the dog or doing some dishes, or like if she say she get used to saying like she's doing something or she has to do something, and I get like sometimes I'll be like, what you mean you got to do it? Like I could do it too. Both of us do it. It's both of our responsibility. And and it's my own shit. It don't got nothing to do with her, man. It's just like me feeling like I've been going and she been holding it down while I've been going, and I owe her something. And sometimes I feel so bad, man. And even not being underway on deployment, like just coming home late, like for like 3 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I'm tired. Like I know I need to do this. I know I need to walk the dog. I know I should cook. I know I should do this shit. But yo, I'm super tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always like that. So that family aspect, man, that shit is crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they at that age thinking about that. That's what they thinking about. You know what I mean? At that age, and the same thing with the wife standpoint, man. With my wife now, man. When we are talking about, like, if I'm talking to somebody else about her and what she do and all this type of stuff, man, I can talk forever, like the sacrifices this woman, you know what I mean, have made. How many times I've been gone, how many times I want to work late because I'm putting the job ahead of the family. People don't say that. People don't come out and say, oh yeah, I'm putting this ahead of my family. But that's what happens, man. That's what happens when we go on them ships and we stand there at 19 and 20. And I'm gonna tell you, like we both know, the work never ends. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's
It
always
really, it
something
really,
to
it
do.
really never ends. But my mental thing is like, man, I need to get this shit done. I need to get
Yeah.
this done. You know what I mean? Then I need to, until I get to a certain place. I get to a certain place, and then I'd be like, okay, I can go home at 17 now. You know what I mean? But until I get there, I'm gonna put in some long hours, not because I have to, because I want to be prepared, and I want my sailors to be prepared for the next day or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I will stay on my hours to make sure I don't look like shit in front of people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Some people just don't care how they look in front of people, but I do. I care how I'm being presented, on how people think about what I do. I think about stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's a big
It's,
deal, man. When it comes to Ella, though, man, like I can talk forever, man, about the things this woman does and do on a daily basis, with from the kids to her job. I used to tell her all the time, you don't have to work type stuff, but that's not her. That's not her MO, man. She always want to be out. She always want to do stuff. She always want to be,
yeah.
independent on
And
stuff
then
too.
she
You know
she
what I mean?
making sure y'all like still social, still going out and
Yeah.
having like
Yeah, man.
Friday, Thirsty Thursdays or whatever.
Yeah, man.
I was just
Yeah.
talking to Angelina about that. I'm like, man, Ella and Damon, man, they going out, they having Thirsty Thursdays. Like, we need to get up out. She in school and stuff. I'm like, yo, we need to
Yeah.
get up out. But one thing that I saw was I've seen, and this is like a lot of shit. Like my first ship taught me, man. And so I remember being on deployment in the thick of it, and like this dude was like having problems with his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
GSM. And I remember sitting with him in CCS, man. We was on watch, and I think at a Liberty Port or something like that, because we were standing like the top watch. And he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, man, I think she leaving." Like she was like in the process of leaving him, and he was like, "The hardest part about it is there's nothing I could do right now." He's like, "I can't take leave from middle to deployment to try to save my marriage." He's like, "It's nothing I could do. By the time I get home, she probably gonna be gone." And I mean, and how many stories like that, right? And this not really the
Yeah.
Navy's fault. It's not
Yeah.
that comes with being in the military, like going on deployment and stuff like that. But how many stories like that have you heard?
Man, a lot, man. A lot of them stories, man. Especially, I mean, I got one. I just told you one. You know what I mean? That's similar
Yeah.
to that. You know. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. It's a tough. I mean, like right now, like I'm kind of, in a good spot when it comes to it. But now also, I feel like my experience, I can talk to other people about it now. You know what I mean? Back then, it was kind of hard on me. I would never bring this conversation up at all.
Right.
But now, since I've been in for a while now, I can talk about it and learn from it, and hopefully I can, somebody else can learn from it.
So
But
so after your first experience, right, when you was like 19, did that have any like bearing on like doing it again, like trying it again? Because for me, that's what happened. Like I was on my first ship, I saw this dude situation happen. I heard about another person that I like really respected. I saw another person's situation go down on my very first deployment, and then I don't think I like got into a dedicated, committed relationship again, probably for like 10 years, like 8,
Yeah.
10. I was like, yeah, the Navy, being in the Navy is not where I'm going to find a committed woman if I leave and go on deployment and stuff like that. I thought that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, not really for me. I always was a home guy though. Always wanted a family. Always wanted this. So it didn't detour me in a way that I'm like not have a committed relationship or anything like that. I mean, I found another relationship, didn't work out, but I was in another
Right.
relationship, and that relationship didn't work out, and then I met Ella. So when I met Ella, man, it's just the vibes and stuff. Man, I knew me and Ella was gonna be in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like when we first met
Yeah.
and we talked, I just like knew we was gonna be in some type of relationship, and it was gonna be something to that relationship when we met. So, but yeah, man, I didn't never look at it like that, man. But I think that experience at 19 didn't hurt me because as much, because we were so young.
Right.
You know what I mean? We were just so young and stuff like that, man. So it didn't affect me that much. But I do know people got stories. I'm saying this because I was 19 and I got and then my family fed that stuff to me too. My family was like, man, you 19 years old, man. You 20 years old, man. You know what I mean? Go live your life, man. Go do this, go. So that kind of helped me out also. But if I was sitting here at 30 something years old and this happened to me, that most definitely will probably affect me
Yeah.
in the future. You know what I mean? On what's
Yeah.
going on. So
And I always see 19-year-olds come in married or something like that. The ones that come in married, and you know, we talk, and I always talk to them like, hey, you know, it's a lot that you about to experience. It's a lot you about, and not even just 19, like upwards to like 22. Like, you know, like, yeah, I've been married for such an, it's like, yo, you about to experience a whole lot. I never just like try to deter them from wherever their heart is at that time, because your heart is wherever your heart is at the time. Yeah. But, you know, definitely. I was 19 and I know what I saw, and I know how first deployment was for me. I know how fun it could get. I know how much you could do. And I was like, yeah, you know, things might change. So then you might get the 2 years later, the 3. And we've seen it. I mean, on the last ship, we've seen it with junior sellers. We've seen it with senior sellers, officers. Like that, those first 3 to 4 years, it's a different type of experience. You know what I'm saying? You're not back home. This ain't the hometown. This ain't college. You going all across the world. You meeting people from all around the world. You're gonna, like, it's like a lot of times you gonna fall in love with somebody else. Like you.
It's tough, man. It's tough out there, man. Like you most definitely. I'm saying from your spouse gotta be mentally. You better be mentally too. But times have changed now too, though. Like when I came in, man, my first deployment, we hit 13 ports.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a deployment, man. Right now, you be looking to get 2. You know what I'm saying? So
I found a lot of love in a lot of hopeless places on deployment, man. Man. Out in like so many different countries, man.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, those good old days right there, man. I just said it was good
England,
old days,
like
man.
It's like yeah. You can see, you know, you can't say much, but it's like deployment is. We used to be sick,
right?
Man.
Yeah, it used to be crazy.
You and all your friends, like Ethiopians, like just all types of just craziness. I mean, I know you've been to Australia, so
yeah, 4 spots in Australia, man.
Yeah.
4 different spots in Australia.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's hard for like a man. Just imagine being 19, best shape of your life, most energy,
and on top of all of that, you can drink in these ports.
Yeah.
How about the captain come with a 1MC and say the drinking age is 18?
Yeah.
Everybody facing lit up. You know what I mean? Drinking age is 18 years old.
You out with your friends, and these are years that you still succumb to like peer pressure, stuff like that. Yeah. So you out with your friends, and they like, yo, we drinking, we having fun, we about to go to this spot. You going like you a lot of times, and a lot of people are figuring themselves out. These are like still formative years for your adulthood. So like you don't want to let nobody down in these years. So you doing some stuff. That stuff could turn you out, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
you know,
most definitely, man. And look, yeah, man, it was crazy out there, man. And then, but you know what? Now, you know, my age now, man. When I be going out, like let's say we'll be in Japan or we'll be somewhere and we going out. Man, I look at my watch now, man. It get like 11 o'clock and I'm like, it's time to go back to the ship. You know what I mean? I don't even have the same energy no more, man. It's time to head on back, man.
I went to Manzanillo, Mexico. It was me, a friend of mine, CS I know, and another guy, OS. He was an OS too. We were both first classes. He was OS too. And you know, I don't want to say too much, but like the OS2, his activity on Liberty did not seem like it would have been what it was based off of his activity on. He was like a straight edge kind of guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me and my boy, we were like just he from Cali, like LA. I'm from Philly, so we bonded on that kind of level. But the other dude was like different from us. But we all like, yo, let's go hang out. Boom. So we did the overnight. Yo, this dude, surprisingly, you know, we go to the strip club somewhere in Mexico, man. We went to a strip club and we couldn't find him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where is this dude at? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to go. And he had the one stripper with him all night. Like, she was with him. I think she loved him, dude. So he wound up disappearing. The stripper come over to me. I'm using Google Translate to talk to her. And she like, yo, where is he? Like, she's mad, like just upset, man. I don't know. we wound up going upstairs. There he was, man. He was in the private. He was with a stripper. Like, so they wasn't only strippers. Yeah, he was with another girl. So he came from with her and scooped up the other stripper back again, and then went right back up. Like, and he was going for about 45 both times, man. I was like, yo, this dude. So we get back. Long story short, we get back from this underway, and this dude, he had a girlfriend, man, the whole time. And I'm not adding a lot of information into the story, but you wouldn't have thought this dude had a girl. You know what I'm saying? And he was supposed to be about to propose. And I think he told her about his events, man. Oh, yeah. I think he told her about his Liberty events. Yeah, man. And that was the end of that relationship. And I know it because it was visible. Like he was going through it, bro. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if it was my fault.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm gonna say, man. So long story short, you and your boy messed this dude life up, man. So long story short, you and your boy messed this dude life up, man.
Look, I don't know if it's my fault. I don't know if you listen to the pod or whatever, man. If you listen to the pod, though, you know I love you, man. We had some great days. My goodness. His birthday just passed. I told him on his birthday, I was like, hey, man, don't have as much fun as we had when we was in Manzanillo.
Hey, man, I don't know your name yet, man, or nothing like that, man. But if you listen out there, man, come on the pod, man. I want to talk to you.
Nah. That's my boy, man. I got mad love for him, man. And I hope he found something. You know, if she can't stay with you through the late night Manzanillo benders, man, she not for you, man. But you know, he was young, and that's what we like. Yeah, but that's what we talk about. She was like love of his life type. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then the last aspect, you know, before we bang out of here, this by the way, the last aspect is kids, man. Like now, how many retirement ceremonies, you know, you go to, and you could tell them kids miss their parent. You know what I'm saying? And they happy. Man. Kids, hey, you remember adult kids be happy.
Yeah. Did you see the last one we was at, man? Wasn't that big, man? When our top snipe retired, man. Yeah. When Joan retired, man, his kids and stuff with there, man. I'm telling you, man, that almost got me. You know what I mean? I'm not an emotional guy, for real, but that whole setting was like crazy, man.
It was unfiltered, and I respect that. I respect that Joan even let the unfiltered conversation happen. But I mean, that's another valuable, really good thing about Joan, because me and him had conversations that were unfiltered. So I respect he let that, you know, stuff happen. But just imagine that, like having, like, that was another thing I never wanted to do. Early on was the first one was get married, and then the second one was that have a kid when I knew I still had over 10 years ahead of me. You know, and I know a lot of people have had kids, like you had kids, stuff like that. But I just knew like that stuff like weighed on me heavy, man. Like, yo, I got to dedicate X amount of time to this, or whatever.
And that's a big deal too, though, man. Like, especially on how you come up and how you grow up and stuff like that, man. Like I didn't have my dad was never in the house with us or anything like that. So my mindset probably wasn't like your mindset is. You know what I mean? I'm sure you had your dad around all the time. You know what I mean? No. You didn't? Okay. No. So my thing is like you look at it as I want to be there 24/7. You know, it's like that's my kid. I want to be there. I don't want to miss nothing going on in his life type stuff. And that's where I think every dad wants to be. Like I want to be. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it so much like emotional. You know what I mean? When all this stuff's said and done and people don't want to do a retirement ceremony and all that stuff, it ain't about doing a retirement ceremony because you want to do it, don't want to do it, man. You doing it for your family, all the sacrifices the family that made. You know what I mean? You want to like give them that back a little bit and tell them how you felt. You know what I mean? I feel like me and Ella be talking about something and I'd be like, yeah, you know, you guys do a lot. You guys do this, you do that. But I never been on a platform to really, really thank her. Yeah. You know what I mean? For all the things that she done. And then again, for retirement, all the people who done helped you along the way too. You know what I mean? And all that type of stuff. So I feel like that was the retirement ceremony is for. But
could you do that without crying? So sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off, but could
I
you do
could.
that for real? Damn, dude.
I can because I don't know, man. Like back me growing up, man, I kind of been like like hardened, dude. Like when it comes
Right, right,
man, I don't like cry. I'm emotional. You know what I mean? You
right.
could tell in my voice I'm gonna be emotional, anything like that. But tearing up and all that stuff, I don't think so. It's just not me.
So
But I will most definitely be emotional about it though.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I cried. I had to address the mess. I can't talk too much about the scenario because of
yeah,
what it's about, but it was during the season. But I was talking to the mess. My grandma had just died right before the season started. And I had to address the mess about just me and who I was. And I couldn't handle my emotions there. So I remember some tears came out. But
yeah,
the most recent time that I really bawled out, man, and I touched on it a little bit, but the most recent time I really, really cried like real hard was leaving the ship.
yeah,
And the tears for me don't be coming from the tears for me is like a compilation of every moment, like every single moment that I had. You know, it's not like so much like, yo, I'm gonna miss it, even though, you know, I am gonna miss it. But it's like the happy tears, the
yeah,
sad tears, the a lot of the times we preface like inspections and stuff like battles. So it's like the tears of joy from victories and
yeah.
stuff that we had. And
Victories.
I remember the last, because I couldn't do it. Like, so my first, it was a lot of people that I left, and I touched on it, we talked about it, but it was a lot of people that I didn't go see, like, particularly junior sellers that I, like, really got a lot of, like, love in my heart for, like, a lot, right? So, like,
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, I can't handle seeing her right now. I'm going to be super sad. I don't want her to see me this sad. I can't handle seeing him right now. You know, I ain't gonna be
yeah,
able to have a word, right? And I was just overcome. It wasn't really sadness. I was overcome with emotion. But I talked to my current Divo, who I remember all of this came on the heels of the miscarriage too. But
yeah,
and just watching all of these people pull for me. But I talked to my current Divo before I left, and she teared up. So that was the
yeah.
first time I'm like, man, like she, like, dag, man, like you tearing up, like, you know, it's only we only really worked together like 3 months. Boom. She's like, yeah, but you
Yeah.
know, she's like, it's still sad to see you go, like, you know. So I was her introductory chief, even though I left, and you know, she had to hold it down without me for a little bit until I came back. But I was her introductory chief. But then my other Divo was gone. My Divo right before her, but the Divo before her, who I was his introductory chief as well. Man, he was like the last person I wanted to talk to. And I ain't expect, I mean, me and him got a real great, like, gentleman kind of, probably the opposite of gentleman, but like we got a real great, like, kind of like relationship,
Yeah.
meaning like he just talk a lot of shit and I just ignore it like all the time, right? That's just the
Yeah.
relationship we got, right? But like we've been in it
Been
together,
through
and
it. Yeah, yeah, I've been
yeah,
through it.
in it for what? And I always feel weird saying that because I'm not like infantry or some shit or SEAL.
Yeah.
But like as a EM and him being my electro, we've been in. We did the D perm together. We did a lot of stuff together or whatever, and we've always at times feel like, all right, we got to prove ourselves in this little small, division. So going to see him, I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then I went in his office, man. I was overcome with emotion. I think I probably cried for like 5. I'm serious, and I'm not a crier, bro. Like, but I
Yeah.
probably cried for like 5 minutes straight before even talking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and then now even when I'm trying to talk, and I realize I don't like that. I don't like it's like a real nasty jar. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to talk and I'm crying at the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, like I just like it's just, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to say because I think I'm good with words when I'm figure it out. But so I talk, and then he was like, all right, I'm not gonna be that emotional, but I am gonna say some stuff. And he said, he said some stuff, but that was just a heavy, like, super. Even the captain, like, even talking to him the last time for me was like, I really had a lot of love and respect for him too.
Yeah.
And when I say love, I mean love. Like I had a lot. Like it's people
Yeah.
that I'm dying for some of them sailors on that ship. That's real talk.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of like. I'm like, man. So it was heavy. And I said it before, but like I'll say it again if you do listen to the podcast. And I did miss you in those moments. it wasn't because I was trying to avoid you because I didn't want to see you. It was because I was trying to avoid you because I wouldn't have been able to handle, my, myself on that. Because we spend more time with that family than we spend with our other family, our actual family, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, before we let you guys go, also, we were talking about families and all that type of stuff. We are going to have an episode coming. We're going to do kind of like a little round table things with the wives, man.
Yeah.
You guys can actually see their perspective on a lot of things also, which I think will be a big deal, man. And will most definitely be a great conversation, to have with our wives and stuff too, man. So we can't wait to do that podcast also.
Yeah, we need, then if for that one, we need topics. You know what I'm saying? Before we get out of here, though, just to stretch us out a little bit more, I got one more question for you. Was there ever a moment in time where, whether it be your spouse or anybody in your family, so Ella or anybody in your family, was it ever a moment in time where they didn't think being in the Navy, active duty, was a good idea?
No. Ever.
So you always had support.
Even my my family back at home before everything, they was telling me, man, 'cause they was telling me, man, go and don't look back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get out of here and don't look back type stuff. So I never had that. Ella, most definitely. Ella always been supportive of everything I'm doing. So I never had anybody to tell me, the Navy wasn't good for me. The Navy wasn't that. It was always, good for me. And then, I've been my own guy for a long time. It really wouldn't have mattered anyway what anybody would have said to me about it, except Ella. Now, if Ella said something, that'd be a different story. Yeah. But anybody else, it wouldn't even mattered anyway, what they had to say, or whoever. So, how about you?
For me, mind, body, and like soul, like the Navy has an impact on, right? So. Yeah. Being injured, hurting myself, boom. A lot of that stuff get back to my mom. Like a lot of that information gets back to my mom. So if I'm physically hurt, if something happens that I don't necessarily agree with, I always feel like I'm fighting for something, man. You know what I'm saying? I always do. Like I'm fighting for something. When I was a junior seller, I was fighting for us. As a senior seller, I feel like I'm fighting for them, like the junior sellers. But I always just feel like I'm fighting for something. Even if it's not a fight, bro. So, but I would be on my way home a lot from my job, especially when my first shore duty. And I got my mom to talk to. This before my wife and all of that. I got my mom to talk to. And I'm like telling her about these fights, and, and she knows about my injury. And she know about, so eventually it's like she in protect mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is hurting you. More than it's helping you at times. And, she's like, I can't wait. She never said to get out. She just say like, I can't wait till you get a job where you got to do less, till you get, a rank where that's why whenever I make a higher rank, she'd be like, well, I thought the higher you go, the less. I'm like, nah, that ain't, that's not necessarily the case.
More responsibilities, right? More responsibilities.
Yeah. So she, I'm on shore duty now. She's super happy with me being on shore duty now. With that said, like for instance, like I recently posted my little card, my calling card, the EMCS card, and I posted it because I'm like, it's a good time now to use it because I'm an EMCS. But her initial comment under the post, and you tell me if I should have or shouldn't have done that. So my mom listened to everything, so she gonna hear this. But her initial comment under the post was like, and it was pretty much along the lines of, so. There's two things happening here, right? I'm on shore duty now. I got a more relaxed job on shore duty, but I'm also promoted to senior chief, right? So I'm displaying the card that shows that for the sellers, and when they see it, they seeing that I'm a senior chief. That's something that my mom probably don't even really understand. But for her, when she see it, she's seeing that it's the office job. I got a card, shore duty. So her comment was something along the lines of, I'm glad you finally have a job in a position where you don't have to do as much. You could do less or whatever like that. I've been watching you, for years, boom, boom. So I called her. I'm like, yo, mom, And tell me if I'm wrong, right? And remember, my mom loves you, so tell me if I'm wrong, right? So I said, "Hey, mom, you can't say that, you know." And I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying is layered, and it's speaking to everything. It's speaking to every year that you saw me. Like, not everybody saw us in these years, and that's what I like about the podcast is we could talk about those years. But it's speaking to my first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth. It's speaking to everything you heard me say, every story, the stuff I went through. But you talking about me being on shore duty right now. You're not talking about me being on sea duty. You're not talking about some of that stuff. You're only speaking to the fact that I'm on shore duty. You're not speaking to the fact that I got promoted and my job is easier now that I'm a senior chief. You're just talking about that I have a desk office job or whatever. And that's still not, and I told her, I was like, a junior seller would see this and probably not get a positive reaction from that and think that I'm like telling my mom that, yo, I'm a senior chief now. I get to do less or whatever. So I was like, yo, mom, can you take your post down? I don't want it to be misread. And she was like, well, I'm like, I know exactly what you were saying, but it's going to be misread. So she wound up changing it. Was I wrong for telling her to do that? Or
I'm not saying you are wrong for doing it, but I wouldn't have told my mom that. You know what I mean? My mom is mom, and I'm more like, post whatever you want to post, because I know, and hopefully sailors know, that my mom is not in the military. You know what I mean? and I think they should understand that. And my mom, and then like you said, she know what you've been through in your Navy career also.
Yeah.
And mom's gonna be protective regardless of whatever situation is gonna be. Mom's gonna be protective of their kid. You're still 5 years old, mom. You know what I'm saying? Moms them coming in, they being protective. If it had been me, probably, and my mom's wrote that on mine, you know, I'll probably post back, yeah, we did that, mom, or something. You know what I mean? I had made a joke about it or whatever the case may be. But I do see your side of it, because you still on the side of everybody also looking at me, everybody also, you know, seeing what I'm doing, and it's not a good look for me being on shore duty and while they out there in the fleet doing all this work and doing all this stuff.
It wasn't as much the shore duty. It wasn't as much the shore duty part, because that's a fact.
Okay.
So the shore duty part didn't affect me. That's a fact. I'm gonna probably do less manual labor than you because I'm on shore duty. I'm working. My mind is pacing, but it was the fact that I promoted. You know, I'm a higher rank. That was the more I was worried about. Like, just, all right, I'm a higher rank now. Does that give off a vibe that just because I'm a higher rank, that mean I'm gonna do less work? And that's the part that I thought people was gonna read into.
Yeah, you was promoting rank, right? That what you was promoting by putting
the
that
post
as EMCS. Yeah, your post was.
Yeah. I wouldn't post my card and for no other reason. And that's why a lot of the comments under the post was congratulations, because the sellers knew that. My mom didn't, though. Like, she didn't.
Mom don't care about that. Mom don't care about no
It wasn't
rank.
even. Listen, it wasn't even till I called her, like, when we were talking. I'm like, yo, by the way, mom, I made, you know, after the post, all of that. I'm like, yo, by the way, I made rank in the Navy. I'm a higher rank than I was before. She's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, you know. She's like, oh, congrats. So she didn't even, like, she wasn't talking about them, but I just felt like somebody would read that and it would cause more. I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? And I know I got enough. We got enough listeners that normally people respond and be like, yeah, you was wrong. It wouldn't have been misread, but I thought I thought it would be misread a little bit, like, oh, now you're a senior chief, you ain't gotta do no work.
I just want to make one more thing clear about that. Hey, moms, you can write whatever you want to write under them posts. I just want to make sure that clear. Whatever you want to write, moms, write it. We together on this.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all are, man. Sure y'all are. Hey, mom, by the way, I love you. She actually coming up here next. We talk about all this stuff about families. She coming up here next week. She actually gonna see me get pinned. I'm not getting pinned until next Friday, so she actually gonna see me get pinned to senior chief.
Nice. Did you wait it out for that?
No.
So why you come in waiting so late?
Just timing, scheduling.
Timing. Okay.
Yeah, we got, man. My commanding officer is a 3-star admiral, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mine too, man.
Yeah, well, they just got, and I'm the only. I think as far as on a chief level, regional, I'm the only one that got promoted. So I'm the only. Yeah. So it's just me. So they were asking me. The next, I got the EOSC trainer Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Monday, we doing ranking board, like CPO kind of ranking board. So Friday is like really, he had meetings on that last week. So Friday is like the only real day.
Yeah.
So that was like the best, because I wasn't gonna come in Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because that training is from like 9 to 1700. So that's like the best day we could do it. I'm good though. We'll do it.
Yeah, that's probably that real training too. Where 1700 means 1700.
Dude, it's a Zoom call though too. It's a Zoom call. So EOSC, expanded operational stress control. Mm-hmm. The new thing the Navy is instituting. And so I'm gonna be the lead for that, and like learning what it is and how to train other people at the command. So it's a Zoom call. So what I wound up doing was I'm teleworking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm gonna knock it out. Like that. And then my mom coming Thursday night, Penn Thursday, probably leave right after that. We go, grab something to eat or something like that. And I know we ain't really talk about Penn yet, because this just by the way. We gonna get into that like probably on the next episode. Stuff. We
don't want to dive into that yet, but yeah, man.
But yeah, families, sailors, parents, kids. Always something good to talk about, bro.
Yeah, man. If you guys out there, you guys hit us. Oh, by the way, man, hit us up, man. Like, if you guys got some type of good family experience, good or bad, man, hit us up. We'll love to hear and share that on the podcast, man.
Yeah, Mississippi, stand up.
Mississippi, what's good, man? What's going on out there, man?